Now to the war in Ukraine and the growing pressure on Israel from its closest allies over a deadly attack on an aid convoy. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has urged his Israeli counterpart to take concrete steps to protect aid workers and Palestinian civilians and called for a quick and transparent investigation. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has criticized Israel's explanation for the attack. An Australian citizen was among the 7 people killed in the Israeli strike on the vehicles carrying aid workers from the World Central Kitchen NGO.
We need to have accountability for how it's occurred. And what isn't good enough is the statements that have been made, including that this is just a product of war.
The founder of World Central Kitchen has accused Israel of systematically targeting his workers when it carried out the strike. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the workers were killed unintentionally. The incident has prompted World Central Kitchen to suspend its operations in Gaza, where Palestinians are desperate for food and other necessities. Several other relief organizations have also now stopped supplying aid in the Gaza Strip. This comes as rights groups say Gaza is inching towards famine. Israel launched its invasion of Gaza following the October 7th attacks inside Israel by Hamas, which some countries regard as a terrorist organization.
Transporting the bodies of aid workers. They were killed in an Israeli airstrike while overseeing the delivery of food aid in Gaza. The US-based NGO released the names and photos of Palestinian, Australian, British, Polish, and US-Canadian staff killed in the attack. The remains of 6 were taken out of Gaza to Egypt to be repatriated to their home countries. The founder of the charity, World Central Kitchen, said the convoy was targeted systematically, one car after the other.
They were targeting us in the conflicting zone, in an area controlled by IDF. Them knowing that was our teams moving on that route, seven people dead. But there are 7 on top of a list of more than another 190 humanitarian workers that they've been killed over the last 6 months.
Israel's government said it regrets the incident and promised to ensure it would not happen again. But its conduct in the war has come under mounting criticism, not just abroad, but also at home. Tens of thousands have taken to the streets in anti-government protests. Benny Gantz, a member of Israel's 3-man war cabinet and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's main rival, is now calling for new elections to be held later this year.
I believe that the Israeli society needs to renew its contract with its leadership, and I think the only way to do it and still maintaining the national effort in fighting Hamas and terrorist group and other security challenges is by having an agreed election date that we have to discuss when and if.
The early election proposed would have to be backed by the majority of Israel's parliament, where families of hostages held in Gaza continue to protest.